Yeah, Jim, community ambulance runs on about 140 calls a day. And during this coronavirus threat, staff is meeting with their medical director on a nearly daily basis, coming up with a contingency plan just in case they need to self-quarantine.
My ambulance is Christine.
They are the front lines of medical care.
All right, what is your address?
Paramedics and technicians responding to 911 emergencies every day. And here at Community Ambulance,
obviously it's the talk of the town right now.
Threat of the coronavirus means a heightened sense of awareness.
If the patient's actively coughing, we're reminding our crews to place a mask on the patient as well as themselves.
Glenn Simpson is Director of Special Operations, who says while each rig is thoroughly cleaned, employees are also reminded to use gloves and eye protection on calls whenever a patient may be exhibiting flu-like symptoms. And should a crew member be potentially exposed to the virus, the company is working with the Southern Nevada Health District for guidance on whether to self-quarantine.
We already estimate that we may see a decrease in about 25% of our staff. Obviously that's alarming to us, but we're fully committed to ensure that the rigs we need to get out every day will be fully staffed and be out there still responding.
But while medical professionals prepare for the worst. And this is all going to one house?
Yes.
How long is this going to last?
Hopefully all month. All month, yeah.
We talked to shoppers outside the brand new Winco on Buffalo, buying in bulk, but not out of fear. Are you guys worried about that?
No.
You're not worried about Corona?
No.
Back at Community Ambulance, Simpson says employees understand this is what they signed up for, rolling on calls, taking care of the sick.
No virus is going to stop us from responding to calls and taking care of our community. So that's what we're here to do, and we're going to keep doing it.
We've crossed a new threshold in the fight against the coronavirus. There are now at least 1,020 cases in the U.S., according to new Johns Hopkins University data, a number that has doubled since Sunday. As the virus sweeps the nation, the impact on the Strip being felt in a new way through hotel workers. Tiffany Lane spoke with them to see how they are coping, and she's near the Strip now.
Well, Maria, a lot of answers up in the air right now as we don't know how long this virus will be affecting our daily lives. Several people I spoke with today, well, they're concerned that they don't know how easy it will be to feed their families on a daily basis as more businesses continue to get affected.
We are really concerned.
Frances Garcia has worked for MGM Grand for 13 years as a housekeeper. She's never seen anything like the impact of the coronavirus.
But it's like really, really slow. So not everybody's making that completely 40 hours.
While she says her contract with the Culinary Union guarantees 40 hours a week, there are some exceptions.
For something like this is happening, it's out of the hotel control. They cannot force the hotel to make me work when there is no work to do.
Nicholas Alice, who spoke with us through a translator, works at a bakery inside the Bellagio, another MGM Resorts property. He is concerned the recent announcement the company will temporarily be closing buffets because of the virus could possibly affect him.
We bake a lot of the baked goods for the buffet, so there's going to be a reduction in demand.
Alice says his job in the bakery is his only source of income.
It has a deep impact. We're not just workers, we also have families, and it doesn't just impact our families, but also the employer.
He says he's not sure what the temporary buffet closures could mean for his job.
Since it is so recent, we don't have a lot of information about what's going to happen.
Now Alice and Garcia hope things go back to normal soon.
We are all hopeful that our jobs will not be impacted or that there won't be a significant change.
This is not affecting only the salary, the money that we're making, but also because we depend on the culinary health insurance. So the many hours that we work is providing us the health insurance.
Something else still going on here in town. Brian Salma down at the Orleans for the Men's West Coast Conference Championship game tonight. Talking about a big basketball game. Hey, Brian.
What's going on, Jim? Yes, it's a big basketball game. We have St. Mary's, the Gales, taking on Gonzaga, the Bulldogs. Of course, as you said, the WCC, the Conference Tournament Championship game going on right now. Enough of that in just a moment. But first, I have to talk about what, of course, Jim, you want me to talk about. The Golden Knights, a huge game that they had last night versus the Edmonton Oilers in Edmonton, a game that had huge implications. So it was a battle for first place in the Pacific Division, and it was one that the Golden Knights never had the lead until it really mattered. Jonathan Marshy had himself a game. The game-tying goal, of course, that sent it into overtime, and then the game-winning assist to old Shay Theodore that gave the Knights a 3-2 overtime dub. A huge win for the division on back-to-back nights.
You know, we're getting down to crunch time here, and, you know, everyone's trying to jockey for positions in playoffs and in the standings. So, you know, we knew that this was going to be a big trip for us, and, you know, obviously we weren't too happy with the start of it, but, you know, between last night and tonight, you know, we're happy to get the wins.
Of course, Alec Martinez was happy to get the win. You know what else is going on, though? The Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame announced its 2020 class today. Our Jesse Merrick was there and caught up with a former champion that took a liking to our very own Jesse Merrick. Here's the interview.
All right, guys, now we're hanging out with Fernando Vargas. Man, how does this honor feel for you to be able to be inducted in Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame?
Truly a blessing to be among such great champions. You know, like I said, you know, being inducted with the likes of Roberto Duran, you know, Oscar de la Hoya, Mike Tyson, truly a blessing.
And for you, we talked about it a little bit before. You're from the 805. I'm from Ventura, Oxnard, Ventura. You know, same area. Talk about kind of you got to represent. You know, and when we talk about that, man, talk about your upbringing, kind of what brought you to this point.
You know, as a kid, I was a troubled kid. When I was suspended for school for fighting, I saw amateur boxing on TV. I saw kids my age. I was 12 years old at the time. As young as 8 years old, fighting with headgears and winning trophies. I said, what in the world is this? I could do this. I found out what the gym was. It took me 1 hour to walk 3 miles as a 12-year-old kid, but nothing was going to stop me. My life changed.
That's awesome, man. Hey, enjoy the moment. We appreciate your time, man. Congrats again. Guys, 805 represent for now. Back to you guys. Cool.
805, let's go 702. My man TC Martin of the TC Martin Show on AM 1400. He's a radio host and an all-around good guy. TC?
Peace out. Good to be with you as always, my man.
All right. So first of all, we have 4 different conference tournaments that take place here in Las Vegas. How about how Vegas is a big player for March Madness?
Oh, big player. It's been this way for quite some time, and this is one of my favorite weekends. Actually, we got 5 weeks of electricity with college basketball, leading up, of course, to people coming from all over the country for, you know, the NCAA tournament. But, you know, Mountain West last week, WCC this week, Pac-12 this week, WAC next week. But, no, this is fantastic.
That's what I'm talking about. We got the Gales, St. Mary's, Gonzaga going on inside. First of all, people do not know the atmosphere inside of Orleans Arena, especially for this game, is bananas. This tournament is bananas, isn't it?
Yeah, especially with Gonzaga here because they travel so well. 85% of the building are Zags fans. Yeah. But St. Mary's pulling the upset right now. Watch out. Yeah. Automatic bid on the line, baby.
That's right. How about the Zags? 22 straight years that they've been in the conference tournament championship?
Yeah.
That's bananas.
Exactly. And every year that it's been here in Vegas, they've been in the championship game. Amazing.
Yeah, pretty amazing. How about this? You mentioned the Pac-12 is coming as well. Have a favorite?
I like those Ducks a little bit. I like those Ducks. You know, Arizona Wildcats been kind of fading out a little bit. UCLA maybe on the rise, but I'm going to go Ducks.